Hello, 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 and welcome to the KiawiTechIT Academy, the citadel of learning where your most innovative self starts. So, this evening we are going to be disclosing everything that it takes to be successful in one of KiawiTech's most popular trainings, which is the database administration training. And to discuss the ins and outs of this topic today, I have with me the Director of Public Relations for the KiawiTech IT Academy, who himself is a senior database administrator and an award-winning instructor. So I have the honor to bring to you right now Mr. Milton Chia, our Director of Public Relations. Hello, Milton, and welcome to the stream.
Thank you so much, Vandeline, and thank you for the communication team. I appreciate you having me today.
It's our pleasure, as always. And you are a new, in fact, we are basically celebrating an appointment. You have just been appointed Director of Public Relations. So from all of us on the communication desk, it's a big congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is well deserved, and we absolutely appreciate you for everything that you do for KiawiTech, everything that you've been doing and will continue to do.
Thank you.
So this evening we have a topic that's very interesting for those who are still wondering, what is this database administration training all about? How does one go about it? Why is there so much talk about database administration? We have you, and as I already mentioned, you are not only an instructor, in fact, you're an award-winning instructor, a senior database administrator, besides being our Director of Public Relations. So how much more qualified can you be to answer all of these questions for us? It's a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Vandeline. Of course, KiawiTech is at the center of our hearts, and we want to make this work. And of course, most importantly, our careers and helping the younger ones in the African community around the United States, Europe, and in Africa, most especially in Africa, to be able to, join us in this, and of course, be able to put food on their tables and then build a successful career in information technology, and of course, specializing in database administration.
Oh, yeah. So let's just take a minute to acknowledge those who've joined us on the stream already. I can see Danny P. I see you are a regular viewer, and I really appreciate you for that. Thank you so much, Danny, for joining again today. Thanks, Beverly, for being here. Danny's saying hi to Mr. Milton. So that's a hi for you. Thank you so much for joining the stream. As you join, please share with your friends. Let's be able to share this good news with as many people out there as is possible, so that together we can build a stronger community and empower each other through IT training. That's why KiawiTech is here and has always been here. So thank you so much for joining once again. Please share the stream as you join, share with your friends, invite as many people as possible. And if you have any questions for us, please drop them in the chat, and then we'll get our Director of Public Relations to answer your questions sometime along the line. Sure. So I guess we can go straight to the point. We've been talking about this database administration, information technology, all of these big terms. So for those who are joining us probably for the first time and who have no idea what this is, can you just break this term down? What is database administration?
Thank you so much. Everywhere I go, they ask me that question, like, "Oh, it sounds complicated. What is
it sounds complicated. I agree."
Yeah, but that's a very wonderful question, and I love to answer that question. So, and this is how I do explain it. In everything you do in life, right? In everything you do in life, there is some information that is being collected in one way or the other. And I can give very simple examples for those that don't know. If you go online and you're trying to apply for an admission in the school, You go in, they ask for your first name, your last name, your social security number, your phone number, your address, whatever information they're asking you from that website. As you type in and key in all that information, there is a container at the back end that is collecting that information, right? That container is called um, a, a database. As simple as that, right? It's just a container and it's called what? A database. Now, a database administrator like me working as a database administrator is that one person who manage that data, that information, the tools behind the scene, behind or at the back end to be able to produce meaningful data. If you type in your first name, your last name, your social security, your phone number into a website, for instance, if that information is not coordinated, is not processed, probably it will come out jumbled in one way or the other, right? That is my job. My job as a database administrator is to be able to make sure that the database, that the container that collects called database at the back end should be able to come up, display all that information for you in a way that that makes sense in a meaningful way. You may want it in columns, you may want it in rows, you may want it in an alphabetical order, you may want it in any form that you want. I should help you maintain that container in such a way that it should give you meaningful information. Basically, that's my way of looking at how the database I'm sharing in a very light manner way, without going into the nitty-gritty of what information technology says it is, but breaking down for our viewers to be able to see and understand what the database is.
That was a really digestible piece, and I hope that everyone understands that it might not be as complicated as the term is.
It's not.
Okay, of course you would say you are a senior database administrator.
Yeah.
Come on, you can say it.
It's not.
We would agree just for the purpose of this discussion, but let's go further. So
Sure.
database administration, we've broken it down. I mean, wherever you are in your homes, wherever you manage data of some sort, and a database administrator is that one who helps put this data in I would say in an accessible form so that it can be retrieved and used whenever need arises. So it sounds that easy. So if it sounds that easy, why do we need to train to become a database administrator, or to have somebody particularly in charge of data at an organization or whatever? Because I mean, it sounds so easy. I'm my own database administrator on my phone, right? So I can just
Sure.
do the same thing I do with the data on my phone in companies. So why do we need to go through a specific training to become a database administrator?
Thank you for that question. And a lot of people have asked us that question, and sometimes we say, well, everything is online, and sometimes you want to go, if you want to go learn it online, please, you're welcome to do so, right? But listen, the instructor student or instructor trainee relationship is very, very pivotal when it comes to any IT training, right? Not only in database administrator. Each time I go into class, and I always remind my trainees that, look, my responsibility is to break it down to you. That's my responsibility, and that makes what makes us at KiawiTech stand out different. Every instructor in KiawiTech goes in there with one of the purposes to be able to break down whatever technologies we're teaching in database analysis so that it makes sense to you, right? And I can give an example if you want me to.
No,
Right.
that's absolutely understandable. I think
Right.
we're going to have a lot of examples
Okay. Sure.
in the course of this discussion. So let me take it the other way around now.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to train to become database administrators. That is
Yes.
clear. And of course, it is not always as simple as it sounds. But I would like to know now, how easy is the training to become a database administrator?
Just like a snap of your finger, like that. right? Just like that. But let me be honest.
Okay.
And I like to contextualize. I want to bring it back home to
Yeah.
where I am, to my soft spot, to KiawiTech, right? KiawiTech has a three-dimensional strategy on how we make this a snappy way of getting it. So on one hand, we tell our trainees that it's not that easy, especially in terms of time management, right? And we can talk about time management a little bit later today. I would like to talk about that. However, let's go to what we do in strategy. First, getting an IT job, and especially in database administrator, involves all these three-dimensional strategy. First, the technical skills, you need them, right? You need to be
Really.
technically savvy when it comes to database administrator. Why? Some people have nicknamed it what? The the petroleum, the new oil in
The
the
new
world
oil.
today. Why? Let me tell you again. Why do they call it the new petroleum in the world? Because every company, small to medium-sized enterprises, protect their data like gold. It is data that they'll use it for decision making. It is data that they will use it to be able to serve their customers. It is data that they will use for any company assets and everything they have to do as far as that. That's the first point. So you need to be technically savvy so that you make sure that you protect the company's data for the company you're working for. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, soft skills. So corporate America and Europe and elsewhere requires people to work in teams, right? If you have had an opportunity to read a little bit about Agile and Scrum, which is also making waves out there, you discover that one of the points that they say in the Scrum manifesto is that individuals in interactions, they prefer individuals in interactions over what? Over a comprehensive what or following what processes. So processes are okay. You can have that. You can do A, B, C, D. However, you need individual. You need interaction with people to be able to do it, to be able to follow that process. And in that way, that's where the soft skill comes in. And that is where KiawiTech also come in very powerfully. We do not only train our trainees to be technically savvy, but we train them to also learn how to build interpersonal relationship, especially professional relationship, to be able to survive in corporate world.
That is really important. And thank you so
Yes.
much for bringing that
And
up.
the last one, I said there were three. The very last one are the tools that you use out there.
Yeah.
KiawiTech is one of that lone school. I will tell you that because I've happened to attend couples of different training in the United States, from community college to others, that train extra tools. Most of the training school, they'll concentrate in their area of expertise. They'll train their tool, but there are some additional tools that you need to use. For instance, ticketing system. We train people on ticketing system, how to use the service now, how to use Jira, how to monitor your databases because they need monitoring. So we train you on those kind of things. So those are our three-dimensional thing that we do in KiawiTech, which a lot of other trainings don't do. That's what makes us different,
It's what
right?
makes it
Yeah,
unique.
yeah.
Thank you so much. And right about now, I would love to welcome Beverly Define. Beverly, you're welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you. And coincidentally, you always join when Milton is here.
I know. Hi, Beverly. Nice seeing you today.
Hi, it's good to see you again. You
Yeah,
have a special grace that comes with getting me online because my introverted
Exactly.
way is like,
yeah, of
It's an
course.
absolute pleasure to have you join this conversation today. And
thank you so much. And I'm in the Carry Tech colors.
oh, yes. I mean, I broke the code. But don't worry, that was just to neutralize it, right? So you both, and then
All
I'm
right,
somewhere around.
right.
Yeah. So, Mr. Director of Public Relations, we're going to go back to our topic of discussion. We were talking about Calitech's unique selling opportunities, unique selling points in the database administration training market. And now I would love to ask you this question. Let's take it concretely now. What would you say it takes to succeed in KiawiTech's database administration training?
Thank you for that question. Again, like I said, in one hand, we can say it might be a little bit difficult or hard in terms of time management. But at KiawiTech, we've make that scenario as seamless as possible, right? We've tried to design everything and to help our trainees succeed very seamlessly. The very first thing that we do is our classes. We have very structured classes, right? We have very structured classes that can help every trainee to go through it. As a matter of fact, we even have classes that we've structured them based off of time zones for those that are on different time zones, right? We want to make sure that we have our classes structured in that way. That's the first thing, our classes. The other thing that I want to talk about is about our cost structure, right? And in the other day in class, some students say, "Oh, this KiawiTech sounds like a graduate school," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's KiawiTech graduate school." So after 2 months of doing our basic training in KiawiTech, one of the very key point thing that our students do is that they have projects every month.
Yeah.
Every month from until they get to the end. And that keeps them on their toes. And that is very helpful in a number of ways. One, those are those projects that you're going to talk about them even during your interviews as work experience, right? You can be able to discuss them and converse them. And in every academia, those projects do that, right? You have to learn, take projects in class that you can do hands-on practice. And of course, you do it within a team, right? That's one thing with our cost structure. The other thing with our cost structure that we do look at our cost structure every year. At the beginning of every year, like we have orientation tomorrow. After orientation and we have questions, we're going to look at our cost structure to make sure that if there's something we need to change, and then of course we'll change it or add it and things like that. We don't only edit our cost structure. What we do is that we go out there, we do research, we look at what is called the industry standards. What are the industry standards? What are Microsoft recommendations? We look at those things, and when we bring them back, and then we are able to restructure our cost structure. For instance, a topic like database mirroring, which has been deprecated by Microsoft, where we see that most of the companies are moving away from it. So we take our time, we look at those kind of courses, we see that, oh, it will be a waste of time to teach something that is not being practiced out there in the industry. And we update our cost structure once every year. And of course, our instructors, all KiawiTech instructors are full of integrity. We are full of honesty. They're full of professionalism. They go out there, they practice that. What they teach in class, that's what they practice in their own jobs. And all KiawiTech instructors, and again, as a standard of KiawiTech, all of us are senior database administrators doing well in our respective jobs. And on the side of the trainees, we've always said it. One, when you come into KiawiTech, the very first thing we'll tell you, that if there is one quality as a trainee you must take to corporate world, anywhere in this world, should be honesty. So if you mistakenly drop a database, you should own it up, because the next minute they look at logs, they'll tell you, oh, you are the one who dropped it, right? That's the first quality we instill in our trainees. The second quality we say is that please treat your classmates as your co-workers, because whatever attitude you put up in KiawiTech, that attitude is going to inadvertently do what? Translate into your job when you finally graduate from KiawiTech. Exactly. So you must learn how to treat your classmate as your co-workers, and that starts from KiawiTech. Still on the side of the student, of course, hard work, practice, consistency, determination. Nobody, just nobody.
At this point, I am tempted to think that Danny is one of us, because everything you're talking about he has listed right here. I'm just gonna go through what he said.
Maybe
Number one, discipline. Number two, hard work.
okay.
Number three, consistency.
Okay.
Number four,
Yeah.
practice,
Of
practice,
course.
practice.
Yes.
And then number five, honesty.
Oh yes. You
So
can't miss those.
And number 6, hard work.
I mean, you can tell. You can tell when you hear KiawiTech talking, and he has just confirmed fact. Yes, I am. So thank you so much for joining and for supporting us in the stream, Danny. We absolutely appreciate you. I mean, continue to be our ambassadors. This is what we like. When we see our values exhibited out there, this shows your training is fresh in you, Danny, and we absolutely appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mr. Milton. I took down some points while you were talking.
Sure.
You tried to tell us what it takes to be successful in the database administration training at KiawiTech, and from those I took home time management, which accumulates to discipline that Daniel wrote here. Time zone. I mean, the courses have been structured to respect the time zones, so that you don't have to maybe wake up at 3 a.m. to take a course because you're in Europe and KiawiTech is in Houston, Texas, or maybe you're in Kenya, Nairobi, and the training is taking place and your instructor is probably in Saudi Arabia, who knows. So all of these are taken into consideration, which in a way gives like a work-life kind of balance. And yeah, of course, it sets the pace for one to succeed in this course. And then you also mentioned the course structure, which follows the industry standards at every point in time. So, I mean, let's talk now from the point of view of the students, the trainees or prospective trainees.
Yes.
Okay, assume that I am somebody in, we once had someone from Freetown, Sierra Leone, and I'm still happy about that. Assume that I am in Freetown, Sierra Leone, hearing about the KiawiTechIT Academy for the first time. I have just heard that database administration is, Mr. Milton has told me it's easy. I could just look like that, and tomorrow I'm a database administrator. And I am interested, but I am skeptical. I would love to know, how do I start? I mean, I don't have an advanced level degree. I don't know anything about information technology. I'm not even comfortable with my computer. I barely can click a mouse and do this. So how can I be successful in this training? Or do you think there is a chance for me at all?
Of course, there is a chance for you, a very big one, not a small one, not a tiny one, a huge one. I mean, all what I mentioned to succeed in KiawiTech was not all, right? There are a lot more that I can talk about, like our weekly webinars, our interview boot camps, our mentorship program, our one-on-one support, and of course, our scholarship program through the Kiawi Foundation, right? But let me narrow it down to your question. If you're out there in Africa, in any African country, South Africa, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, and you name the rest, right? Please come to us. The very first thing you're going to find in KiawiTech is that we are warm. We are warm people. We welcome you, right? We do not only welcome you, we make your stay in KiawiTech very comfortable, right? Now, let's talk about one-on-one support. If you are in Freetown, you need me to be a mentor. You need Dr. Kiawi to be a mentor. You need Mr. Zebedi Kiawi to be a mentor. You need Madame Adija to be a mentor. You need Mr. Romeo, right? You need Mr. Michael. You need Mr. Norris, J. Emmanuel. I can go on and on and on. We have a lot of them out there, right? You can call them by name. And when you meet with these people, you will realize just how much they care about your success than even about themselves. Some of them stay up at night just to make sure that they can have a Zoom one-on-one with you to be able to mentor you, right? That's the very first thing that you will find at KiawiTech that will make you comfortable. Now, we have people that come from various backgrounds, even in the United States, not only in Freetown. People that come from maybe social work, nursing, general studies. They didn't do anything in IT. We start them. And that's how, remember I mentioned about basic training. That is what you should do. Go in there in our forum. They will provide you a link. You take a placement test. That placement test is not to find out whether you pass or you fail. It's just to know how much we can be able to help you, and at what point we can start. Right? When you do your placement test, we're going to teach you what we call computer basics, so that even if you have zero knowledge, zero knowledge, we have a lot of testimonies, right? We cannot bring here. If you have zero knowledge in IT, then we will start you from there. And then we'll be able to tell you what the mouse is, what the screen is, and then we're going to differentiate you what the hardware is, what the software is. We're going to narrow down those software, differentiating each and every one of them to where SQL comes in, and we connect the dots. Once you connect the dots from there, then that's when we dive into database administration. And when we dive in there, everything you're already incorporated in the system. But along the line, as you are doing this, you're still being mentored. You're not only mentored, you're still being attached to a group. You still have a WhatsApp forum where you can ask questions, right? You still have your structured classes. You still have our weekly Tuesday webinars. Now we've even improved it that we are going to have some on Saturday for those that are in Sierra Leone, like you said, or in Africa, right? That can come a little bit earlier, later in the evenings of Saturday on their time, where they can log in, feel free, ask questions. It could be anything. It could be anything. Ask any questions, and then we'll be able to kindly and in all honesty respond to you, or do more research and then provide you with that answer. That is what. So with us, KiawiTech is a family. When you find KiawiTech, you found a family. You found an IT family. You have a support system that is going to be there for you until you cross the finish line.
Thank you so much. That's a brilliant response, and I would love to say that it culminates into the point that you do not need any IT background to take our database administration training. I think that is the start-off point for anyone listening or watching us right now who is interested but skeptical. So you do not need any prior knowledge, because as Mr. Milton has explained, we take you from wherever you are. It could be from 0, from 10, 20. It just depends. From wherever you are, we take you up, we walk you up the database administration ladder. So I don't know, Beverly, anything to add to that?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't know if you can hear me.
Of course, we hear you.
Oh, great. I just want to be sure, so I'm not speaking to myself because it's happened severally. Okay. It's been so amazing listening to you talk about the chances of enrolling and succeeding in KiawiTech IT Academy. I have a lot of people asking me questions if it's true, like you're in there. Can you honestly tell us if what they're saying every time is really true, or they're just trying to get us in to the training? And I'm really keen to connect with your personal story, Mr. Milton, as someone who.
Oh, I think.
Thank you. Yes,
Hello?
I think he's back.
Yeah,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Back now.
Oh, sorry about that. So I was asking if it's possible to connect with your personal story as someone who's passed through the training and the possibility of transitioning from a different career path to this one. I feel like I want to connect with your story, how you were able to transition. If I saw you transition, maybe you were in an IT career before, but it was not exactly the one you're in now, or you're training in. So maybe you want to share a bit about your personal story and how you were able to transition or jumpstart.
Of course, thank you. It's a very long story, but I'm going to shorten it. Right, I put it very, very short. Originally, my career goals were to work as a cyber security analyst. So I went to school in the United States, and I went to Prince George's Community College to study my actual degree in cybersecurity. And when I graduated from there, I was selected to go attend what we call the Cybersecurity Awareness Day with the what we call Immigration and Custom Enforcement Office for the United, which is a high-ranking office. So, and I in my mind I was like, oh, I'm meeting my dreams. So when I got there, there were lots of jobs, like options, all state agencies bringing over and bringing their flyers. Please sign up here. There is a job here. There are even internships, paid internships here for those of you who are still students. They're going to do tuition reimbursement and all of that. And it was sounding very good to me. However, at the time, I had one hindrance, just one. And the hindrance I had at the time was that I was not a US citizen, so they could not clear me, do what we call security clearance. So, and I thought to myself, what is it that I'm going to do that I can find options, not just small options or big options within the commercial and private companies. And database was the next thing that came to my mind. But again, I wanted to stay within the context of the IT, but probably not cybersecurity. And I started doing Oracle. Now, at the end of doing my Oracle, after 6 months, I started Oracle before joining KiawiTech, and I started KiawiTech a month later. But 6 months down the road, I finished KiawiTech, and then I was still in module 2 in Oracle. And again, I got a SQL job after graduating from KiawiTech. Now, I was working at the time, and I was like, okay, how do I juggle these two? Now it's not in okay. So I like every other person, you're always scared, like what happens if you don't have. So I maintained the other job that I was doing while I was doing my database, my first database job when I got off in Florida at the time. And but like to connect that, I just wanted to say it gradually, become part and parcel of me. The good thing about database is that when you go in there, that's when you begin to realize how important you can even apply that in your daily lives. How I could even talk to my wife and tell her to, put a little bit of even a small database and stickers and put on our fridge for groceries, for some kitchen stuff. I begin to look at those things. That's how the database starts, as little and tiny as something like, that little sticky note, right? And then we grow from there. And from there, the other thing that actually helped me too, especially in KiawiTech, is that KiawiTech has a lot of resources, right? Their resources helped me, and I was able to achieve this certification of called the Microsoft Certified Solutions Architect, the MCSA. In January, that certification was just escalated everything in my life.
Oh, wow.
And before I know it, I landed my second job, which I don't talk about it because it's a little secure, but that is me. That is my relationship from where I was coming from, thinking, oh, this cybersecurity was a big thing, by finding my niche right now in database administrator. And to tell you, I'm a very happy man. I enjoy what I do. I really, really love it. It's enjoyable. I find time to spend at home with my family or with my wife when she's at home. If she's not working, I work remotely 100%. And this has given me a real work-life balance, right? Like you said, and I can connect that dot. So come to Kiawi, and I got my training from KiawiTech, right? And now I'm an instructor here. So come to KiawiTech and then get and get going, guys.
And you're able to spread the love, right?
Of course,
I mean, love
I,
with database
I've
administration.
been a mentor. I was in batch 8. I taught in batch 9, 10, 11, and 12. I just ended. I'm about to start batch 13 tomorrow. So, and amongst that, I've mentored, I don't know the total number, probably between 50 and 100 trainees that probably are now working in the job market, like database administrator. And and I'm super happy for that. To me, it's an opportunity for me to serve, right? To serve as maybe made in my God-given purpose in life, to be able to mentor those trainees. So I enjoyed it, and of course doing it with KiawiTech, I can never regret even one bit, of it.
Amazing. I mean, you've elaborated how many, I mean, now we know how many classes or batches you've taught. I mean, you have an amazing parcours. You're not our typical candidate, because we have like most people coming from zero IT, but you went from high profile IT to high profile IT. So I think you're the right person to answer this question. You've taught in all of these badges you've taught. I suppose you've seen so many people transition from other careers into database administration. But I would like to ask a personal question. Which is the story, the KiawiTech story, that touched you the most? I'll tell
Oh,
you mine. Mine
yeah.
was during the last, I think the last 2 live sessions where someone transitioned from grading into database administration. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow, you left your hair salon into
Yeah.
and today you are a senior database administrator. And I was like, wow, I'm still in awe of that story. I listen to her story all the time and it just gives me this much inspiration. So I'd like to know, what is your own story? I
So
mean,
I was
it,
going to say a
what's
similar story, but I guess it was a different person. I know this trainee for security. I'm not going to call her name,
yeah.
and she's actually from Nigeria. She trained. She was in batch 9, and she was doing. Is it other guys call it manicure, pedicure?
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
yeah, that's what
Mind
she
you.
was doing, and she came into our program. But I can tell you right here and right now, with all authority, she is a proud database administrator working.
Wow.
Right? She yes, this is you know he she it's a she sorry. She took her time, followed the KiawiTech formula, and then followed our resume building, our one-on-one mentoring, attended our boot camp. I opened my offer letter in 60 days, asked questions, listen to every bit, and I'm telling you, she is at work right now. And there are a lot of those ones. We have people that were security guards. One
Wow.
even called me today. They just offer her a full time in Colorado,
Wow.
and she's been working for that company for almost getting to 9 months. They gave her about a 3 months contract. She went there. At the end of 3 months, they renewed it. At the end of the 3 months, they still renewed it.
Wow.
And now they openly told her that we don't want to renew it. We want to we want to take you full time.
Wow.
That is what KiawiTech gives you. We do not train you to be reactive DBS. We train you to be proactive DBS. To
That
be
is
DBS that when you go to work, you're not an I7. You have to be there. If your database goes down, you should be the first to tell a manager that this database goes down because of what? You monitor it. The tools, you remember the tools I said at the beginning. So
exactly.
yes, we have those stories, a lot of them. We can go on and on and on and on. If they were in the chat, some of them will confess for themselves. They have
Yes,
specifically
exactly.
found a very good home, a friendly family, a support system in KiawiTech. There's
Yeah.
no, you never go wrong with KiawiTech. But let me be very honest with you. Very few of our trainees that have not had jobs, they still stick with us because they found a family. You don't come to KiawiTech and you go back empty. Never. No one. We are yet to see that one individual. One. Please, if you are out there, go on Facebook, write it out that KiawiTech is useless. Do it. I'll give you that challenge. Right?
I think, I mean, just from the comments right here, I can
Yeah.
tell the quality of mentor and instructor that you are. I have a lot of praises for you in the chat here. Your story is a source of inspiration. Mr. Milton Chance always there. Call on him at any time, and he's there to help you. I mean, and I think it's really interesting to be able to match this words with kind of proof from the chat and proof from people who
Yeah.
know you personally. So I've someone's writing here. Here, please. I love this program so much and would like to benefit from it. Okay.
Of
We
course.
have a lot of information about ourselves in the chat and on our Facebook pages, and of course, right here on the screen is our website and our contact number. So take it. Feel free to reach out to us. Our director of public relations is here. Reach out to him anytime, any day. He will be able to help you. And of course, you can see here he's always available. Where is that? There's
Yeah.
someone who wrote
And
here.
the phone number is on WhatsApp. For those that are in Africa, you can easily WhatsApp. The phone number that is on the screen, you can also send a WhatsApp.
Yes, someone just confirmed here. Anytime you call him, he's there. And I must give it to you, Mr. Milton. Thank you so much for the amazing
you.
job that you're doing for the community. We absolutely appreciate. And thank you all who are in the chat. I would love to give a shout out to the people who joined halfway in. This is Adeboyega. Oh my goodness. It's a pleasure having you on the stream today. Azabo Oswald, you're welcome. Science Cassini, you're welcome to the stream.
Oh, that's my brother.
Nyongo. Oh, wow.
Well,
It's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being here today. Yumbum Bataza, watching from
Yep,
YouTube, you're
that's
welcome.
another one. Yes.
It's a pleasure having you all. Makine Hillary, thank you so much for joining. Share the good news with your friends. And of course, we have an orientation class coming up tomorrow. I'm just going to put up the details on the screen so that you can see and join us tomorrow for more information. I mean, today we are talking on a specific topic, but tomorrow you're going to have the chance to ask any questions that are left pending from today. Any questions that you have after this session, you would be able to ask tomorrow. So let me just put these details on a screen so that you can see. Feel free to join our orientation class tomorrow. Invite your friends to join. We would be answering all your questions. I mean, all possible questions for prospective trainees of the KiawiTechIT Academy. And I would love to come back to you, Beverly. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm right here.
Okay. I don't know if you, what's your take on everything that Mr. Milton has said? I think it paints a very hospitable picture of the KiawiTechIT community.
Absolutely. I cannot agree less to everything he said, and I've experienced it myself to see how what sets KiawiTechIT Academy apart from other training institutions is the sense of community that you feel when you are part of the family. It's like you said, like you have said, and every other person who's come on the show has said, that I mean, when KiawiTechIT trains you, it doesn't just throw you off to the wolves. It continues to accompany you throughout until you finally land that dream role. So I've seen it. I've heard the testimony. I can only confirm whatever Mr. Milton has said right here, that it's absolutely true. And I have someone seated by me right now, and she keeps asking me if this is really true, if it's a scam.
It sounds too good to be true, right?
Yes, so she keeps saying it sounds too good to be true. Like, so I keep asking her, are you convinced now? Now, do you feel like you can get on this? She's like, okay, I'm still thinking. I'm like, all right, maybe you can come on the orientation tomorrow and you can maybe further clear any doubts, because she's still having the doubts, like, is it really possible? Because probably she's coming from a completely different background and like arts and all of that. And she keeps asking me, I hear other people, they left from chemistry, they left from nursing. Those are science subjects. So she still has that feeling like, no, if it's science oriented, then she is coming from an arts background and it's not possible. So I'm hoping that by the end of today or tomorrow, whatever doubts she has are going to be cleared and she will be able to enroll.
Is she in
But so
Cameroon?
far, I'm impressed with the community. I'm glad to be part of the community, and I can only encourage and invite everyone else who is interested to join the community, because it's more than a school. It is a community and a family indeed. So, yeah.
And of course, Mr. Milton and his entire team of instructors and administrators, they're doing an amazing job. And we hear these testimonies all the time from our trainees, from our alumni who are now working. I mean, there are always testimonies of how they got helped at their job sites, and someone's right here saying when at work they have your back. And you see it in the community. You see problems posted all the time. When someone's having difficulty, he falls back to the community. Oh, how do I resolve this? And instantly answers pouring. And Mr. Milton, the instructor, comes and says, you but please answer this question.
Yeah, because I want them to, because I know why I say so, because I want them to jump on it, right?
Exactly.
Because it's going to make them stronger and stronger.
And the spirit, it's really different from anything that I've seen elsewhere. And I would really say, if you're still doubting, this is your cue. This is your cue, honestly. You are in the right place. You're in the right hands. I already told you in the beginning, he is an award-winning instructor. He is a senior database administrator, and he is our director of public relations, heavy portfolio. And at KiawiTech, you would see them like that. Our CEO has similar portfolio. Our instructors are well equipped for the job, and everyone pretty much knows what he or she is doing. So if you were still thinking, you were still doubting, this is your cue. Come on, what are you waiting for? I have I talked to someone Sunday and she told me the only regret she has is that she didn't start earlier. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you were in social sciences. And she was like, yes, in the beginning, I thought this was all the JavaScripts and all of this. At the end of the day, I just found out that it's just practical life that you can just do. I mean, you just need to take the training and they show you what to do and you go do it.
Yeah.
So, there is a question that I once asked our CEO that I would love to ask you today. So, Mr. Milton Chia, you have explained what it takes to be a database administrator. You have told us what the training entails, and you have told us what the job of a database administrator is. And to me, a layperson, sounds pretty easy. So why do database administrators earn so much?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
but
because we have like we call them the six figure guys,
six
right?
figure, yeah.
Six figures, in case you don't know, that is anything above $100,000 US. So you can convert that into your currency and know what we're talking about. Why do you guys earn so much?
I know. I would like to make a few comments, but before I do that, I want to say something to Beverly, to is it her sister or whoever they're sitting asking question, and I know that this is I'm gonna use my director role now to break protocol, to let the cat out of the bag in this case, to say that at least KiawiTech now has recorded the very first trainee in Cameroon who has gotten a job.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo.
She trained in Cameroon. We mentored her in Cameroon. I did a resume from here. She applied and finally got a job. I'm not going to say the name because by our protocol, I'm not supposed to say it until we do the background check and then everything get cleared and all of that.
Exactly.
So we have a DBA in the house that is coming up soon that has gotten a job in Cameroon.
Yeah.
And this person was not a science. He didn't come from nursing background. He did insurance, right? We kind of know these things because some of these trainings, they trust us. We do a one-on-one on them. They reveal some personal stuff for us, right? Like what they study in school to see if their background. And when she started, she was that scared. So please do not get scared. If your background is at it, if you read history in school, please come and read the history of computers now, right? If you study economics, come and study the economics of computers. If you study geography, come and study the geography of computers.
Exactly.
I'm honest with you guys. Please do it. Come try us out. And the good thing about us is that you can attend our classes for 2 weeks free of charge.
Yeah.
If you listen to us talk, the things we teach you, the course structure, and it doesn't make sense to you, you're free to go. And you don't owe us any dime, and no one will ask you for a dime. Now, let me answer the question you just asked me. You know, that question has no wrong answer, right? But I will tell you for a fact, which I already mentioned at the beginning, the data nowadays is considered the new oil, the new petroleum. At first, everyone wants to work for petroleum companies. I am in Texas. Texas is what the mining, the mining. How can I call it? The where most of the petroleum companies are. People don't fight to work for petroleum companies, and people fight. If someone is fighting to work for me, I want to work for a petroleum company, but as what?
As a database
administrator. I want to take care of data. Those companies will not make any better mining decisions without data. No one. Small to medium sized enterprises. I was talking with one guy. I was working on his resume the other day. He's in Nebraska, and he said, I'm still too young. I'm doing the kind of job I was doing. I work in a fast food restaurant, and how can I I like, look, I pull up what we call Five Guys, the headquarters of Five Guys. It's a huge building in Virginia. Guys, Google it right now and look at it. That building does not host less than 5 DBAs. Fast food. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Database administrator cuts across every field of studies: transportation, air traffic, education, insurance, finance, legal service, you name it.
Yeah.
So it is the new oil. 6-figure, here we come. Do not make a mistake about it. So that is why. That's the only reason why. If every job has challenges, right? I mean, the database job can have some little challenges. Use that, and we have our one-on-one support to support you go through that, so you're not worried. Shouldn't worry about that, right? However, once you cross that, like I was telling you, the other trainee that went for 3 months, maybe the company was doubting, like, she went and proved her work. They offer another 3 months. She proved her work. Now they are begging her to come for full time. She's like, I don't want to go to Colorado. I want to stay in Texas. Give me the full time and I work from here. You make those decisions. We give you that training and we support you to a point where you even name your salary. If you are on Tuesday webinar, you would have listened to one of our trainees boldly saying that she had vowed that she's not going to earn anything less than 100,000 a year. 100,000 a year, US dollars. With the present exchange rate in Cameroon franc CFA will be at least 70 million. Think about it. 6 figures. Nothing shakes us. We are focused.
And this is not a joke, guys. I mean, I know that you listening from the other side will be like, okay, this is big talk, but let me tell you, it is not. We see it happen all the time. And there is an interesting question here in the chat, which I would love us to dwell on.
Sure.
This is the question. Possible to get a remote job from Africa?
Yes.
This is a really interesting question that I would love you to dwell on, Mr.
Yes. Let me go ahead and answer that question, because that is something that now, as the director of public relations, it falls directly under one of my job description. One of my job description that I'm going to be working on is to be able to create relationships with, again, small to medium-sized enterprises overseas, I mean in Africa, to be able to, we train those that we train. Not everyone that we train should be hoping to come over to the United States of America, right? You can be trained in Cameroon and then you go work in Ghana. You can train in Cameroon, go work in Rwanda and still get paid 6-figure, or if not 6-figure, but a reasonable amount of money that you see that this training is worthy, right? So that is possible. It's a yes and a no, and let me answer that. So it is let me start with the no. Oh no, with a yes. It's a yes in the fact that most of these jobs are remote. Like me, I work remote not just because I'm in I mean, I just came back from Cameroon. I was in Cameroon July, August, and I worked from home. I was working. I as a matter of fact, I told my manager. My manager was the one who even encouraged me that if I don't want to use all my PTO, I can work from Cameroon. I just went to Cameroon. One of the other professional instructor of KiawiTech by the name Mr. Cyprian just got me Camtel. And that's all. Mobile. I traveled to Bamenda, went to Yaoundé. Each time I go to my hotel, I just plug it and I log on to my job, and I still do my job as if I'm here in the United States. So yes, you can work from Africa if you have your internet, right? That's just what you need. Your job will give you what we call VPN access, right? Where you log into internet, connect to your VPN to access internal resources. You're good to go. At least I'm saying I did it just last month when I came back from Africa. I was working in Cameroon and I didn't have any issues, right? That's number one. Now, the other number two is that there are remote jobs everywhere that you can be able to get. You can get a remote job to work in Cameroon over from maybe Ghana, like I was saying, maybe in Nigeria while you're sitting in Cameroon, or vice versa, right? Those jobs are there. Remember, I just let the cat out of the bag. We have one of our trainees that just got a job, though she got it in Douala, but there are going to be days that she will not go to work. She will still sit in her house in Douala and work remotely, right? Still inside Douala. Now, the no part of it is what I'm still going to work on it, like in terms of research to know whether, because when you get a job in America, they do what is called e-verification to verify whether are you authorized to work in the United States of America. You have legal rights to work in that country. That is the part that I cannot answer. I don't know if I don't want to say, I don't know if there is a policy or a constitutional rule that may hinder us Africans from doing our job remotely. But I know for the fact that there are companies here that they have offshore teams that works in India and the Philippines, right? So I'm believing that even if there is a policy like that, there's a way we can break through like the Indians did. So it's work in progress, but we're gonna get there. Azabo, I hope that helps a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to just first of all say that with the internet access, you can work. The problem about paper and being authorized to work in the US is completely a different ball game that might need us to really go through the administration. But other than that, yes, why not? If there's you have a legal right to work, why wouldn't you work? You can work. You can get a job. Companies can offer you the job so long as they can do a background check for you. That's it.
Absolutely. And talking about this, I would love to bring this to the attention of people asking the same question from places in
Yeah.
Africa. Please keep in mind that remote work is not only available in the United States of America. No,
Yeah.
it is available in other parts of the world. In fact, almost everywhere. I have a close friend who lives in Yaoundé, Cameroon, but works for an oil company in South Africa. She's been
Yes.
working remotely from Yaoundé for 3 good years. She only goes to South Africa when they have like corporate meetings or end of year parties or stuff like that. It's basically leisure travel when she goes to work, but she works from home. So this question is an absolute yes. I would love for any prospective students of KiawiTech to know that this is possible, especially from other countries in Africa. You can get a job. You can be living in Nairobi and get a job in Nigeria to work from
Yeah.
your home in Nairobi. And you can be in Lagos, Nigeria, and work for who knows Morocco somewhere. So remote work is always possible, but there is a hindrance for most of our brothers from back home. You don't search because there is this culture. There are no jobs, so where should I get work? So if you go searching, you would definitely find one. And of course, it's a yes, it's totally possible to work remotely from Africa. Apart from the constraints that Mr. Milton has listed, which are very valid, I mean, if you're authorized to work in a country, there's no reason why you should not be able to get a
Yep.
remote position from there. Um, Someone wrote something here that I was reading. Azabo Osval, thank you so much. You've been really active in the chat. Thank you so much. I think it's not just getting a job in America, but getting a job at 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 all in the end. Exactly, getting a job. I mean, remote or on site. A job is a job, right? So yeah, that's also important. I think the person just pinpointed remote because it's probably his area of interest. So, I mean, Mr. Milton, we've had a very fruitful conversation this far. We have clarified all the little doubts about the possible misconceptions about database administration being for very witty JavaScript writers and gibberish mathematics, advanced or whatever. We have broken down all of those myths, but now I would like us to come down to concrete requirements. Let's just make this a kind of summary for those joining right now. What's the entry requirement for any prospective trainee of KiawiTech in database administration?
Sure. Thank you for that question. Yeah. Like we said, our recruitment process is very seamless, right? Everything is remote. First, you fill out an application form from www.KiawiTech.com. Go in there, just fill it out. It's very easy, one page, not too complicated. And after you do that, then we have some of our administrative secretaries that might reach out to you directly if you are facing difficulties and provide you the direct link for your placement test. Remember, the placement test is not something to see, oh, you've passed or you failed, are you dull or you are intelligent? No, we don't care about that. It's just for us to be able to decide right?
Yeah.
Where we can start to help you. Are we starting you from scratch? Do you already have maybe some medium knowledge? And then we go from there. So after the placement test, the other requirements, they'll send out your admission letters, and then they'll send out your computer requirements. And this is important because when you come to KiawiTech, um, you gain more than what you pay for. The reason is you're gonna see, and you can go check it out, guys. A Microsoft license for SQL Server is like 45,000 US dollars, right? But we give that to you as a package so that you can install it, and we don't ask you to install it. We do it in class as part of our practicals. We installed it, and then you use it in practicing as you go through the course. So we need you to have a certain qualities of a laptop, right? Certain specifications, like it must be 1 TB SSD, 16 GB of RAM, maybe an i5 or i7, right? You need to have that because that's what our programs will carry. And then once you get to virtualization, you also carry that. So those are the little requirements. It doesn't take a lot. And the last requirement, which is super important, we talk about it now very well to our trainees, is what? Time management, right? And I will say it outright here. Some of our prospective trainees will basically tell them that, okay, if you do not have the time, no problem. We can put you on our wait list, and then you can come in our next session, right? This is how our classes are. This is how our classes are structured. You have 3 days a week of 3 hours. That's 9 hours. And then we're going to put you into groups, right? And then when you put into group, that group might choose another 3 hours of a different day to meet once a week. And then when you start doing projects, there will be some weeks that you will spend your entire week working on projects. I said in my class the other day, and my trainees were laughing and say, once you are on call, because when you go to work, you are on call. So when you're working on a project or you are on call, even if Ali Popa is in town, you will not go. And they were laughing at me. But yes, you got to make up your mind to be able to invest in terms of time. We give you a cost structure and we tell you that at the end of 6 months, please hold us accountable. But yet, your conscience will hold you accountable if you don't put in your own work.
Exactly. So I think it's like, we can just summarize it by saying it is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
Exactly.
So you sacrifice 6 months of your life to make the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
that's what all of us did. That's what I did. And that's why I can sit in my house right here. I work today sitting right here, and I'm talking to you guys sitting right here.
And it's absolutely amazing. So you've just outlined, we have all our requirements are a laptop with our specifications and an internet connection.
That's all.
You don't need any prior knowledge.
No.
You don't need any specific.
You don't even need a textbook. We'll
give
you PDF textbook. You don't need it. You don't need it. We'll give you 2 PDF textbooks in our welcome package. You don't need it, guys. The softwares will give it to you to install and use. Just so laptop, basically, internet connection, and then you fill out our application form. That's it.
And in fact, from everything you have said, Mr. Milton, I can say that the answer to our question for tonight, what does it take to succeed in KiawiTechIT's database administration training, is discipline. Would you agree with me?
I honestly agree with you 100%. You must discipline yourself. Every other thing that we're saying is surrounding around discipline. The time management, you need to discipline yourself. We have trainees that go to work, they come back, they get off work at 7, they drive as they get into house at 8 p.m. That's when classes are starting. They drop everything and they discipline themselves to sit there for another 3 hours. Some even have to put off their video just to eat something, maybe for 10 minutes, and then they continue. But the good thing about that is that at the end of that 6 months, once you cross that level, it's all that is long gone.
It's long gone. It's all forgotten.
Long forgotten.
It's like childbearing, right?
You begin to work like us. We say you're working beside the fridge. You go grab an apple and eat,
I mean, I consider the process like childbearing, right? There's all this pain, and once you see your baby, the pain is forgotten.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I mean, it's been 1 hour of 1 hour 5 minutes of talking, and it feels like 5 minutes. Just because everything that you said is so, it's so relatable. Everybody can, I mean, we can see through what you're saying, and that's what kept us going and going and going. I didn't even realize it was 1 hour already, and you've said so many. Yeah, thank you so much for reiterating that Yombom Bataza discipline is key. So, and that's our take home for today, discipline. That's all we need you to bring along to KiawiTech. Discipline. You can, even if you just been a housewife all your life, never, just come. As long as you can discipline yourself, we can mold you into a database administrator at any point in your life. So come as you are, and we would give you everything we have to make you or mold you into who we want you to become. And of course, Mr. Milton is always here. You can reach out to him, as you've already seen from the chat. Very reachable. All other staff of KiawiTechIT are just as reachable. You can reach us from any one of our social media platforms, our phone numbers right here on WhatsApp, our website. You can reach us using any of these means, and we would always be available to answer your questions, to clear all your doubts, and to give you all the information that you need about starting a career in database administration with zero prior knowledge, or 50% of knowledge, or 0%, 10, whatever, wherever you are, we would show you where to start and how to go about it. So we've been saying a lot of interesting things, Mr. Milton, but I would like just to round up that you tell us in fact, what would be your final words to someone who is considering joining the KiawiTech database administration course, but it's like, ooh, should I do this? Should I really do this now? When is the right time?
The right time is yesterday. The right time was yesterday. Like someone said, the only thing he or she regretted was that she never started earlier than.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will tell you something, and full disclosure, that's my own regret too. If Dr. Kawi was here, he will tell you I was one of the first person he called when he landed here from Germany and said, let's do this. And I was like, no, Snipe Martin, I'm going to cybersecurity. But where I am today, I'm right here. So please do not waste any more time. Come and then apply, and then we'll figure it out. And let me just say this lastly, we cannot do it for everybody, but one last thing, our scholarship program.
Very important. Yes.
Please do not minimize it. We cannot give scholarships to everybody. However, if you truly qualify, especially from Africa, the KiawiTech Foundation is there, and I'm telling you, the KiawiTech Foundation is an awesome addition to the KiawiTechIT Academy.
Exactly.
And it's been led by Dr. Ngepo. If she was here, she would tell you the amazing things we've done. I've never felt fulfilled in my life when I was able to volunteer at the Houston Food Bank last April, thanks to the Kiawi Foundation, right? Yeah. So our scholarship program is on there. So let money too not be a hindrance. Let money not be an issue. Of course, it's an issue in one way or the other, but if you can get, even if it's just 1/10 of a scholarship, it will go a long way to kickstart you so that you can become our trainee tomorrow.
Exactly. And of course, when you become a database administrator and sit on the 6-figure seat, then you can also be a donor to the foundation and help other people take the training that empowered you. Yeah. So thank you so much for bringing that to the limelight, Mr. Milton. I absolutely appreciate your input this evening.
It's my pleasure.
It was very enriching, and I'm sure that everyone watching us is now sure that the right time to start was yesterday. So what are you waiting for? Today is that day to right the wrongs of yesterday. So do it right now. Our website is scrolling through your screen, www.KiawiTech.com. Please drop us a message, register, or call us on WhatsApp. Write a message, ask questions, and we would always be here to provide answers. And just a vital reminder before we go, our free orientation class takes place tomorrow, and you have all the various time slots displayed on your screen. So depending on where you find yourself. In the US of A, Houston, for instance, 12 noon CST. In West Africa, GMT plus 6 p.m., that's GMT plus 1. And if you're in Europe, it is 7 p.m., that is GMT plus 2. And you have the credentials right there displayed on your screen. Please join us tomorrow to have, in fact, anything that we've not said here today would be said tomorrow. And you would have a chance to ask questions of all types, because we have every instructor from the CEO down to the least person in KiawiTech will be present. So every question would have an answer tomorrow. So come with your friends, come with your family members, spread the good news. Don't keep this to yourself. I mean, there's something called the SQL gospel, right? This is the gospel. Spread it, guys.
Yeah. Secret gospel.
Exactly. Let's change someone's life, not today, but yesterday. So, Mr. Milton, I think it's time for us to call it quits today. I know it's a really interesting topic, and it's difficult to stop when you have so much information.
I know.
But unfortunately, we have to stop right now. So, I mean, this will be a chance to say your last words and goodbye to all of those who've been watching.
Of course, sure. Yeah, I just want to quickly say thank you to all those that joining. Thank you for all your questions. Again, I am here. Dr. Dennis is here. Our communication team is here. Everyone in KiawiTech is here to help you cross the finish line. Welcome tomorrow again with your other questions to, so that we can answer them. Right? We'll go more detail tomorrow. We'll spend at least 2 hours tomorrow more.
Exactly.
To be able to answer every nitty-gritty question, it may be about laptop specification, maybe placement test, maybe class structure, and provide additional resources if you need them tomorrow to be able to, cross again, become our trainee. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was my awesome pleasure, my absolute pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And we hope to have you some other time.
Thank you.
So it's a bye from us, Mr. Milton, and bye to everyone. Stay safe, stay blessed, and remember, KiawiTech is where your most innovative self starts. Bring your family members along. Bye.
Yes. Bye.